Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, we're going live on Monday because I'm not sure if I'm going to Slipknot on Wednesday or not. But we're going to bring in our guests and get this ball rolling. Usually we're going to talk Pittsburgh, but we have a guest tonight, so we're probably going to be all over the place like normal. And first, I'll bring in my co-host, Rich.
What's going on, man?
What's happening?
Busy, man. Busy weekend. Lots of stuff going on. Getting ready for football, but hey, how about those Buccos?
Oh, they
Tough one
can't beat
yesterday.
the Diamondbacks. Save their freaking lives. I just wanted to say I hope everyone in Deborah's path right now is going to be safe or getting the hell out of the way. Apparently that thing's supposed to drop 12 to 13 inches of rain tonight up the coast, and I'm just praying everything's all right. The storm surge is going to be a little bit crazy too, from what all the forecasters are saying. So, but
Yeah, in fact, with the radio stations I work for right now, station is in Albany, Georgia, which is just on the very western edge of this thing. They got a little bit of rain, that kind of deal, but our listening area stretches east, and a couple of towns there are getting get hit pretty hard. I've talked to some folks out there today, and the owner of the radio station is also the chief meteorologist for a TV station in Florida. So it's he's been filling me in on all that. So yeah, it's definitely going to be rough, especially for those folks right along the eastern seashore, but even those inland in Georgia and South Carolina.
I heard I've been just crazy. Um, we're only on D, but or yeah, Deborah. But anyway, hey, we have one more guest. Let's bring him in, returning to the show after many months off. Been crazy busy. Um, got to go
Always.
to got to go to a Penguins game, I think, in Colorado.
I did.
Um, I'm trying to keep up with you, Mark. I can't do it. You and the wife traveled a good bit. Um, Grandkids are
There's
now playing baseball. Um, getting
baseball,
any
soccer. Yep.
getting any brawls out there like the parents? You going nuts, or are you one of them calm parents?
I'm the calm one. My wife is she's more of the active, yell at them type, but she's also the team mom type where all the kids are, you know, she's got kids from our daughter that played softball with her. They're almost 30 years old now and they still come up to her, give her a hug, and call her mama. So that's the kind of support that my wife is for the kids.
That's good. That's good. Um, you having any weather problems out there, Mark? That it's hot as
It's
all can
just
be.
just been stupid hot here. It's been over 100 the last 4 or 5 days. We're supposed to have a couple more days in the upper 90s and then finally get a little bit of rain on Thursday and be down in the 70s. So that'll be beautiful for us. But I do appreciate you guys mentioning Florida and the things that are going on down there. I've got some family down in that area, in the Tampa area. So I always try to pay attention to the hurricanes and see what's happening. And you just got to pray for those people.
You got to pray for the people in San Bernardino right now too. That wildfire is getting a little out of control from what I saw on the TV at work today. I saw it just
Yeah.
scorching someone's house, and I felt so bad. I was like, "Oh my god!" Like,
Yeah,
there's
we've had
nothing
a
you can
lot of
do
that.
about it. Honestly, I thought California burned pretty bad, and I don't know how they keep having all these fires. Seems every year they have a huge fire, and
Yeah.
these trees grow back like quick as all can be.
It just tells you how many of them there are.
Yeah. We've
Um,
had some wildfires, grass fires here in Nebraska and Wyoming and northern Colorado that have been affecting those people as well. So it's just been really dry, and any little bit of lightning is going to set those things off, and then they burn for a while because there's nothing that's going to stop them.
Yeah, those ones we had in the panhandle of Texas a little while ago, they were super bad. They were thinking that Lubbock was even going to be in danger, and Amarillo was going to be in danger, and that kind of thing. They finally got it calmed down, but it was a
Mm-hmm.
lot of territory destroyed.
Happens quick.
Yeah.
Mark, how exciting is it to watch Bobby Witt Jr.?
It has been so much fun to watch him. Um, when I was writing for Kingsley Kaufman, there's a website that covers the Royals. We did our previews, and this was in 2022 before his rookie season. and they asked me to write what I thought Bobby Witt was going to turn into for that year. And my prediction was he was going to hit in the 270s, probably 20 home runs, 30 stolen bases. Sure enough, he did. Last year, he's right around 300, 30 home runs, 40 stolen bases. This year, he's hitting 340, something ridiculous. He's got another 20 home runs, got 22 stolen bases. Guy plays defense like you wouldn't believe. He's just all over the place. He's young. He's signed with the Royals for a long time, which is something that they have not done for a long time. So it's good to see somebody he's committed to the team. He's committed to his teammates. You can tell that the other teammates love him. Even Salvador Perez, he says, I want to give him the C off of my jersey one day, just when he's ready. And Salvador says that Bobby Witt's going to be the greatest Royal ever. And he said that includes George Brett. So that's pretty big words.
Yeah, that's some pretty high cotton there. And being here in Arlington, in Texas, as long as I've been here, I was in Arlington for a long time. Got to know his dad real well whenever he was pitching for the Rangers, and actually saw Witt when he was in school, school age and that kind of thing. Right at the end of Bobby's career, when he was bringing his son to the games and all that, and I'll tell you what, this kid, people are always talking about Gunnar Henderson and these other guys, but don't sleep. You can't sleep on Bobby Witt just because he's not in a major market.
Yeah. And I think I told Adam a long time ago when they were first coming up, guys like Bobby Witt, Vinny Pasquantino, some of the pitchers that they've got that have been coming up, and a guy like Michael Garcia, MJ Melendez, they even when they were younger, a couple of years ago, they looked like ball players, and it's hard to overestimate how much that actually means to see somebody who looks like they can play.
Melendez really impressed me because he came up as a catcher. And of course, you got that guy that wears 13 that's been behind the plate for quite a while.
Yeah. He's not going anywhere either.
He ain't going anywhere in the next few years. So Melendez, it was really good to see Melendez take, he saw his vision in his head in the future, developed his game in the outfield, had a little bit of a struggle, in the very beginning, which is going to happen when you're making that massive of a position change. But it sure seems like it's paying off in the last few months. He's really played pretty well.
Yeah, he got off to a tough start this year. His batting average was, mid 100s, and he's still not up to 200. I think it's like 195 or something after yesterday. But I don't know if you guys saw it yesterday. The Royals are down 2-0 going to the ninth inning. MJ Melendez came up as a pinch hitter with 2 outs, hit a 3-run home run. The Royals walk it off, or didn't walk it off because they were on the road, but a big 3-run home run in the ninth inning as a pinch hitter. It's his first pinch hit home run ever. So it's steps like that are going to make this team believe that they can win. And a guy like MJ Melendez, he needs to see that. He needs to see that ball come off of his bat and recognize what he can do and how he can contribute that way.
And you're right, it's 195.
Yeah.
I have Melendez on my fantasy team, so.
Ouch.
Anyway.
He's hitting some home runs and getting some RBIs for you, but
that's all I need. I don't need the defense. All I need.
No.
Go ahead.
You guys might notice me glancing up. I'm actually watching the Royals game right now.
Yeah, they're getting beat 2-1 right now still. The Red Sox.
They just tied it up 2-2, bottom fourth.
Oh, all right. I missed that.
I picked the Royals to win that division.
Did you?
Come in behind Cleveland and make the playoffs.
Okay.
I had them to win the division last year. But, Cole Reagans, who y'all brought in from Texas, you could see in Texas that there were pieces that if he was able to develop, he could turn into a really good, consistent pitcher. And he's done that going to Kansas City. Seth Lugo, guys like that. The pitching staff has definitely carried this team in a lot of places. Brady Singer, he's doing some really great things.
Michael Walker.
Yeah, you got a couple of former Rangers from that World Championship team out there as well, and Chris Stratton and Will Smith. And you just picked up Michael Lorenzen, who was wearing Rangers uniform a little while. But I really like what they're doing with this Royals team. It seems a lot like what they did in the late teens
The
when they won when they got to the World Series
2013,
and then
14, 15 teams. Yep.
yeah,
It
when they
reminds me
got
a
to the
lot of
World
those
Series and
teams.
won the next year. Yeah.
Yeah.
And who was the catcher on those teams?
Same guy. And he is a leader. And you can tell the people, his teammates love him. The people of Kansas City adore him. That he's never going to buy a meal in Kansas City if he doesn't want to, ever. But he's so popular. He's so energetic. He loves the game. And, a lot of people don't realize he came up when he was like 20 years old. So he's not really as old as what people think he is. So he's been around for a long time, but he's not old. They're being smart with him. They're playing him at first base. They're using him as DH. Freddie Fermin has played a lot of catcher lately. And Fermin has actually hit well enough that he's DHing a lot right now when Salvi's catching. Fermin is playing DH. And he's batting right around 300. I think he's actually the one that just drove in that run that we were talking about.
Well, when you look at what the catching position is, a lot of people overlook it because it's not the guy. Normally, it's not the guy that's hitting 40 home runs. It's not the guy that's hitting
Right.
300. But look at a lot of these teams that you got a Yadi Molina, a Sal Perez,
Right.
a Pudge Rodriguez, a
Yep.
a Joe Mauer, guys like that. That you see the team revolves around them. They don't
Right.
necessarily revolve around the guy that's hitting. And I'm not saying anything against Bobby Witt, but the foundation of
Yeah.
that team is Sal Perez at the moment. Bobby Witt's a big part of the building of it, but Sal Perez is the foundation of that team, hands down, I think, anyway.
And the big thing about catchers is on defense, they're going to set the tone as well, because those guys they're touching the ball. They're setting the defense on every pitch. They're more involved than what anybody else is.
Yep. That's why I love playing it. It was great. That was my position.
Yeah.
I caught and played first. Moved to
go.
first later on in my career, but catching was great. I liked it because you got the best view in the house. You're seeing everything right in front of you.
Right.
And you're involved on every pitch. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, catching definitely keeps you way more involved in the game than, say, outfield. Still have to be involved, but catching is like Rich just said, every pitch. So,
yeah,
I know that was pretty straightforward.
And if you think about it too, a lot of the great managers,
absolutely.
what position did that were players? What position did they play? They were a catcher. You get guys like Mike Scioscia, Bruce Bochy, guys like that. Catchers.
Right. Even going back to Bob Melvin. I'm trying to think. The guy that was the manager who's the manager of the Rangers right now?
Bruce Bochy.
Okay. Maybe that's who I was thinking of. But yeah, there's so many catchers that have turned into good managers. AJ Hinch for the Tigers. They're not doing very well this year, but another former catcher.
Boy.
Yeah.
Cleveland.
Yeah. Stephen Vogt.
Boy,
in Cleveland.
I want to say Voigt. My bad.
So yeah, I mean, you see a lot of it, and it's really the catchers. It seems like it's the catchers and the utility guys. Like Craig Counsell and Wash and Ron Washington at the Angels, who took the Rangers to a couple of World Series. Guys like that. I think it has something to do with them being or having to stay focused on the game. Because if you play 2, 3, 4 positions, you got to be paying attention to everything that's going on. Just like when you're a catcher, you got to be paying attention to everything because you're in on every pitch.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've developed a little bit of a relationship. You probably remember from his Rangers days, Greg Pryor.
Yes.
He Rangers, Yankees, Royals. I've talked with him a little bit on Facebook, and I actually bought his book. It's called The Day the Yankees Made Me Shave My Mustache or something like that. But anyway, it's a really good book. But he talks about his experiences coming up through the minor leagues and different managers that had an impact on him. But he's another one that was a utility guy. He could play second, third, short. and he always had to be ready for whatever was going to happen in that game because he never knew when he was going to get called on or what position he was going to get called on. And I think a lot of those guys, like you're saying, they develop an intellect for the game because they have to see it from so many different angles and so many different positions.
I know being left-handed, trying to catch, that was fun, but it definitely gets you involved in every pitch. It was a lot easier to throw people out at third because you could throw behind the right-handed batters. It was easier. Throwing out at second, that got a little rough.
Mm-hmm.
Had to do like a little sidestep so you weren't thrown directly into the guy.
All this time, I didn't know you were a lefty, Adam.
I play sports lefty. I can righty.
See, both of my sons are left-handed, and one of them actually played some catcher in Little League as a left-hander.
Yeah, my cousin got my glove, and he never gave it back. That's all right. Hey, as long as it got used, that's all I cared about. You know, I passed it on.
Right.
To get used.
I wasn't right.
Used. But yeah, that was fun. I like being a catcher. I mean, I knew I wasn't going to go far because I'm left-handed. That's unheard of and unseen anywhere, I think.
Do you remember the last left-handed catcher in Major League Baseball? He was a Pirate, actually.
Yeah, he was.
I do know.
Hold on. I should know this. Jason Thompson?
No. No, Mike Squires played for the White Sox a little bit before this guy, but Benny DiStefano actually played several games as catcher for the Pirates. He's the last left-handed catcher in the major leagues.
Rich, I feel bad like we do a Pirate show and we didn't know
that. Yeah, I kind of stake my claim on being pretty solid on baseball trivia in general, and I should have known that one. That's why I don't know why I had Jason Thompson in my head. Yeah, that's usually what I'm the best at is random.
It rolls around in my head for no real reason at all that Benny DiStefano was a left-handed catcher.
That's because you knew you were coming on my show. You could finally talk about it.
It just triggered something way back here.
So you guys have got a second. You guys got a second baseman that I got the chance to see play a lot of shortstop here in Waco at Baylor, and Nick Lofton, and seems like he's starting to get it. It's starting to come around. It's taken longer, I'm sure, than he wanted.
Yeah, a little
Nick's
bit.
a good kid. Yeah, he's a good kid. He's a good ball player. It's just I think he's just taking a little extra time to get to where he wants to be. You know, he's only hitting, I think, $1.99 or something like that right now.
Yeah, he is. I was just looking that up. He actually got sent back down to Omaha. But you know, the Royals with when they got Paul DeYoung, when they acquired him from the White Sox at the trade deadline. But the Royals, they've got the infielders with Maikel Garcia, Michael Massey, Paul DeYoung, Garrett Hampson, Adam Frazier. They can all play on the infield. So they've got a lot of talent there, and I think that's a big part of what's keeping Lofton down in the minors right now. But he did play well for him last year when he was up for a while.
I like the acquisition of Hampson from Colorado. I always thought
he was wearing. I don't know if you can see this. I'm wearing my Omaha Storm Chasers shirt right now. Repping the AAA team.
Very nice.
I'm sure there's a lot of Storm Chasers out right now on the Eastern Coast.
Yes, there are. Yep.
I don't have cable, so I don't know if good old Mr. Cantor is out there tonight.
That's when you know it's bad, is when Jim Cantor is standing in your driveway. That's when you know it's time to take cover.
Yeah. Yeah, that's bad news bears right there. When I did radio in Cambridge, Maryland, Sandy was blowing through. And he ended up coming to Cambridge where my radio station was. And I was like, you know, everybody was flipping out. It's like, oh God, Cantori's here. The Bay, the address of the radio station was 2 Bay Street. Chesapeake Bay was 50 feet out the front door, right?
Mm-hmm.
Everybody's like, "Oh God, the bay is just going to overtake the building and all that." It got pretty rough. Nowhere near as bad as what people in New Jersey and that kind of thing got, but it got bad. But all they were thinking was, "No, Jim Cantore's here. No, 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 no."
Yeah. We usually just watch for the tornado chaser trucks, and when they're
If I ever
around, we know that we need to worry
in
here.
my neck of the woods, I'm gonna be in a world of shit. Everyone's gonna be in a world of shit. If they see Jim Cantor at my door, there's gonna be a world of shit. It's like that means half the world's already collapsed.
Yeah, we're pretty protected here from the hurricanes and stuff, but we get the um, blizzards. Yeah, the snow things. We get a lot of that around here from time to time. So we all have our little bits.
I imagine we'll get this rain Saturday.
Yeah, you'll get some remnants, I'm sure.
We might even be on the outer bands of this thing, watching it roll on the screen.
Hmm.
So
Yeah, yeah, and I mean the thing that's if there's anything good out of this, the wind is not horrible. It's a lot of rain, and the wind is from what they're showing, what they've been showing, is pretty much staying in that 30 to 45 range.
it looks
Um, which it's not 90, 100, like they had with whatever the one was at the Gulf Coast of Texas here a little while back. I'll think of the name of it in a
Yeah,
minute. But that was sustained 80, 90, 100-mile-an-hour winds. This seems like the wind isn't anywhere near that terrible. But it
yeah,
has
that's
tropical
good.
storm status because it's over 39.
Hmm.
So.
it's huge.
So,
This
guys, tell
band,
me about the Pirates this year.
well, we can't beat the damn Diamondbacks. Team we need to beat. Lost 2 series to them in a row, pretty much. Played them last week, lost. Played them this week, lost. Skeen pitching another masterpiece. Can't hold on to the lead.
Hmm.
Um, I mean, Jock Peterson, he must love PNC Park. Kettle Marte is on fire. He hit another one tonight, Rich. I don't know if you saw that or not.
He did. I have him on DraftKings. Yeah, Ketel
Oh,
Marte, when he gets on a roll, forget it. He'll hit 8 or 10 in a couple of weeks, and then he'll go another month and not even smell one. He won't get to the warning track.
Hmm.
Um, but boy, they've
I think
got
he hit
some
four and
talent on
six.
that team. I mean, uh,
I think he hit 4 in 6 games against us.
I think that's right.
Um,
I think
yeah,
that's right. But they've got good talent on that team. Alec Thomas is really good. I love Christian Walker. I'd love to see him in black and gold. Corbin Carroll's struggling with the bat this year, but he's okay. Picking up Eugenio Suarez was a big deal for them.
Right.
Perdomo's really good at short. Can
look
they
in
make?
good
Can
August
they
back.
hang on to the playoff spot? I don't know.
It was 6-5. I don't know if they were winning or losing it. They're playing Cleveland.
Look,
Game last I looked.
I got the Ranger game on the TV screen because we're playing Houston this week. We got to take at
Hmm.
least 2 out of 3 from those guys.
It's been a
Oh,
tough go for the Rangers.
Huh?
It's been a tough go for the Rangers this year trying to repeat.
It has been. By the way, 6-6, bottom of the ninth, Arizona and Cleveland. Yeah, I mean, injuries have been really bad for this team, but when you look at the numbers last year compared to this year, they showed a stat on the local broadcast probably about 2 weeks ago, maybe 3, that took the top 5 hitters off the team from last year, which was Simeon Seager, Nathaniel Lowe, excuse me. I don't want to make
Hmm.
his mom mad. Nathaniel Lowe, Adolis Garcia, and Jonah Heim. And every one of them, their batting average was at least 30 points under what it was last year. And their on
Right.
base percent or their OBP or yeah, OPS was at least 60 points below last year. And that's not counting Leody Taveras. It's not counting the fact that Josh Young didn't play basically the entire season up to this point. He played the first week, broke his thumb, just came back. So, that's been rough. Pitching has been, a mash unit from pillar to post. They just got Cody Bradford back. They just got, they just got Scherzer back a little while ago. Now he's back on the DL with shoulder issue. They're getting DeGrom back in September. Evaldi has been fine. He's kind of been the saving grace. I don't trust John Gray anymore, but if they can get themselves just healthy, I think that'll make a difference because they haven't had the same lineup from last year in there all season. And people blew it off, but losing Mitch Garver made a big difference in that batting order.
Yeah. I know they gave the Royals fits a couple weeks ago when we saw them.
Yeah. Well, the Diamondbacks did lose Moreno tonight. I don't know if it's going to be serious or not, but he left.
Yeah, it's supposedly a groin strain. Yeah.
Says
groin strain on a catcher is no bueno.
Yeah, that's not a good thing at all.
Dela Cruz on fire tonight, Rich. You run him?
Sir?
Did you run Dela Cruz tonight?
I did.
56 points.
Wow.
Yeah, he went bananas. He's been going bananas here lately. What was it that I saw? He had like 15 stolen bases in his last 12 games or something like that. He had 4 in one game the other night, didn't he?
Yeah, he did. That's like old school baseball. Back when we were kids, Rich.
Yeah. I'll tell you, I've seen people talking. Cantori's in Charleston, by the way. But I saw a thing the other day, and I think he has definitely got the best shot since it happened. You think he can break Ricky's record? Stolen bases?
I don't think anybody's gonna touch that. He'll be doing.
You don't think he can get 130?
No, I don't think so. I think the days of that are gone. He might touch 100 at one point, but I don't think he'll get that.
He might get 100 this year.
Yeah, he's getting in the neighborhood.
Yeah, he's
I
up
always
to
think
what?
Back to
60 something right now, 70 something.
Yeah, he's getting there. He's been doing well.
Yeah.
See, I always think back to, I talk a lot about my younger days and the Royals teams. We had Willie Wilson, Amos Otis, Freddie Patek, some of those guys stealing bases all over the place. Texas, I'm sure you remember Mickey Rivers, Bump Wills, some of those guys that were stealing bases all the time for the Rangers.
Toby Harrah and guys like that.
Yeah. And the Cardinals when they had Vince Coleman, Lonnie Smith.
McGee.
Some of those, Ozzie Smith even.
And Willie McGee.
Don't see a team. You don't see teams doing that anymore.
No, but it does seem like most teams have that one guy that can do it. It seems like they're getting to that point at least.
And that's one place where the Royals are doing. The Royals are doing well this year with that because we've got Bobby Witt, Michael Garcia's mid-20s, Dyrone Blanco's even. I think he's either at 20 or he's close to 20. Which you say 20 now, that would have been the 1980 Royals would have had 6 or 7 guys with 20 steals each. But it's a different game than what it used to be.
Dela Cruz has 50 bases, excluding tonight if he got any. He also has 20 in the last 30 games, 6 in the last 7. So he's only 22 years old right now.
Yeah.
I mean, he's gonna, we've talked about, no one ever talked about Ovechkin catching Gretzky, and here we are knocking on the damn door. Will he get there? Will he get there? Who knows? But are we going to be talking about Dela Cruz like this in 10, 12 years? Maybe.
Yeah. And all it takes is you can go on with that for your entire career, but all it takes is one bad injury, and
Right. I would just love
you hate
say
to
that.
say something like that and jinx him, but all it takes is one, and he's going to be knocked right down.
I mean, we lost
No,
O'Neal Cruz all last year because of
Yeah.
slide.
no steals tonight for De La Cruz, but he did score 3 runs, had 4 hits, 2 doubles, 2 homers, and 3 RBIs. When's he going to do something, for crying out
It's not a
loud? I mean,
bad
good
day.
grief. It's not a bad month for some guys.
True.
42
Who are some of your
DraftKings
favorite young
points. Thank
players
you very much.
besides?
How
Who are some
many?
of your favorite young players besides De La Cruz and Witt? And who do you like to watch?
I like watching Gunnar Henderson.
Uh-huh.
I really like the way he plays ball.
Even though Bobby Witt definitely catches my eye, Mark. So, but I'm a Gunner fan.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And maybe that's because we have Matt who talks the Orioles all the time, so I'm hearing it every Thursday.
Well, yeah, no,
lately,
but there's good.
good.
There's a couple other young guys though that I really kind of am starting to, and one of them I don't really know if we're still classifying as young or not. I really like watching Royce Lewis play
Mm-hmm.
of Minnesota. I
Mm-hmm.
don't know if he still classifies as young or not. But when he's healthy, he's a really fun watch.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what you guys think.
Yeah, I would agree. It's it's good to see some of the younger guys that are coming up that are going to keep the integrity of our game. It's a game that I have loved. Like I was telling you guys before, 1976, I saw my first major league game, and I have loved baseball ever since. And I've really appreciated people that will play the game and play the game the right way. My daughter is walking in. She's going to go to the refrigerator, steal some food, and take it back next door to her house. But like I was saying,
Mark,
there's a lot of young guys that are.
fan, but all your memorabilia in your room does not say you're a baseball
Oh, this is just my Packers room. My office at work has all my Royal stuff.
fan.
There's George Brett, Alex Gordon, some memorabilia from the.
I liked watching him play short too.
Yeah, he was a lot of fun. I've got Dayton Moore in there. Jim Eisenreich. I have a signed helmet from him. Actually met Jim Eisenreich when I went to Kansas City in 2019. He was signing autographs at the Royals Hall of Fame, and just a super nice guy. He's everything that you would think he would be. He took the time to stop and talk to me and my son as we were getting our autographs. I thanked him for representing Tourette's the way that he does and being the model that he has been throughout his career. And we had a really good conversation. He made fun of the security guard that was standing behind him, and it was an enjoyable experience. You like to meet guys like that and see the good ones as opposed to some of the horror stories that you hear about different people.
Yeah. Well, let's see. Back in '85, you guys gave one of my heroes growing up a championship ring. That's Jim Sundberg.
Uh-huh.
I played ball with
Love Jim.
Sonny's kid. I played ball with Sonny's son, Aaron, all the way through
Awesome.
high school ball. And but our first year, yeah, we did. They had a YMCA ball, and he and Buddy Bell came over and
Mm-hmm.
did classes, and that's the first time I ever put the gear on.
Mm-hmm.
And he showed me certain things, about how I needed to catch the ball, and it just kind of snowballed. And fortunately, with my relationship with Aaron, we got to know Sonny pretty well over the years and all that. But I was so glad he got a world championship ring with Kansas City
That's
because
cool.
he wasn't getting one in Texas at that point in
Right.
time. As much as we loved him in Texas, he wasn't getting one in Texas at that point in
Right.
time. So that's always super cool.
And we were talking earlier about the importance of a good catcher. And I will forever defend Jim Sundberg as far as his importance to that 85 team, because we had Don Slott and John Wathan were our catchers before Sundberg.
Mm-hmm.
And then Sundberg came over, World Series. So I think that he was a big cog in that. He hit well enough, but the way that he caught those young pitchers that the Royals had at that time, the Saberhagens, the Gubazas, the Charlie Leibrandt, Danny Jackson, the way he handled that pitching staff made more of a difference than what a lot of people will give him credit for.
Yeah, and he's got a shelf full of gold gloves in his office.
Yes, he does. Yep. Yeah, there's never been any shortage of. The Royals have been blessed with a lot of good catchers. We had Bob Boone for a while, Jim Sundberg, Wathan was actually a decent catcher. You got Salvi Perez right now, Darrell Porter, going way back. There's been a lot of good catchers come through Kansas City.
Yeah. And Porter was a big cog on a lot of really good teams because he went to St. Louis and was a big cog on that team. Almost helped the Rangers get to the playoffs one year.
Yep. Yeah, that 82 Cardinals team, Darrell Porter was a big part of that.
Yeah. In 89, he almost helped the Rangers get to the playoffs.
Yeah. And it's too bad when you look at a guy like him to see what his life turned out to be and how things went for him. He struggled a lot with addiction, got through it, and then relapsed, and ultimately that's what killed him. But, I really appreciated the guy as a player, and I appreciated him going through rehab and doing everything that he did to get his life back in order. And it's just too bad that it turned out the way that it did for him.
Yep.
So, what did you want to know about our Buccos there, Mark? You brought it up. What did you want to know?
I just think it's been good to see teams like the Pirates and the Royals and some of the other teams that haven't been good for the last several years that are actually in there fighting for a playoff stance or, fighting for a playoff spot. And I was interested what you think was the key for them early on when they were playing really well. What got them in it? What's keeping them in it? Besides schemes.
I think schemes has a lot to do with all of this. I don't know when. I don't remember our last show, Mark, but I said from day one, Skeen should have been on this roster as I wanted him to go opening day. Everyone looked at me like I was loony, but I now see everything that can back up that cause as seeing him as the opening day starter, and I saw that throughout his career. I watched, I didn't really watch the guy. I watched the highlights. I had an LSU podcaster at that point in time, so I was paying attention to him talk about schemes, and I knew that this kid was ready. This, you don't see that, and everyone and Rich argued with me all the time. You don't want him up here yet? Yes, you do. Yes, you do.
And I still think it benefited him staying down there for a little while, getting acclimated to the next level before he moved up to the next level. I watched him pitch at LSU. I got to see a lot of the games around here and that kind of thing. But I think that whether it was him individually or him as part of this three-headed monster they've got in a pitching staff, it's the pitching. It definitely is the pitching more than anything else. The starting pitching, especially because when you've got Skeens and you've got Jones and you've got Mitch Keller, you can win a playoff series with those three guys. You can roll those three guys out and win a playoff series. Bailey Falter has really picked up the pieces from a disastrous year last year in Philadelphia and been pretty solid for the Pirates in that 4 spot. The sticks are just where you kind of want to just pull your hair out. I love that they got Isaiah Connor Falefa, which, by the way, how'd you like that yesterday, Mr. Adam?
Well, he liked the pushing right. I can tell you that much.
They made that deal, and I told him right out of the chute. They got Izzy. I loved Izzy when he was in Texas.
I recognized the name that I couldn't put everything together. Like, I recognized the name, and that was all I recognized. And I admitted that.
Yeah, and I
Yeah.
think Brian De La Cruz is going to be a great fit in that 4 hole. You know, give some protection to O'Neal Cruz because okay, yeah, Rowdy Tellez has his moments, but he's not consistent enough to provide real protection for Cruz. So now you've got something in that front 4 that if you go Connor Falefa, Reynolds, Cruz, De La Cruz, okay, now opposing pitchers have to really look at this thing. You know,
Mm-hmm.
what happens 5 through 9 is a little bit different, but you know, now with the moves that they made, because everybody, well, the Pirates aren't going to do anything. They're not going to make any moves. You know, they're going to do the usual thing. They're going to sell. Blah, blah, blah.
But can we
No.
have Izzy not bunt anymore?
Do we what?
We have could Izzy not bunt anymore? That was disastrous.
Yeah, that he's normally a better bunter than that. He really is.
That was bad.
I think he was more concerned about pushing it up the first base line than he was just laying it down. You
And I
know,
didn't
if he didn't just worried about laying it down, I think he would have been fine.
I didn't understand why they had him bunt. He was having a great day at the plate.
I understand that too, but it's situational baseball. You're
Yeah,
moving the runners up.
having a hot bat right now. Why would you do that?
Do I know?
He was having a hot bat.
Well,
He
that's
was seeing
true, but you
people.
also got to look at situational baseball though. You know, you're if you can move those 2 runners over, now you got guys behind him because you got Reynolds right behind him and you got Cruz right behind him and De La Cruz right behind him. They can drive the guys in if he moves them around. You know, it's not like he knocked 2 out of the park. He had a double and a triple. Um, I didn't mind the fact they had him bunt.
Talk about this. He was still seeing the ball well that day.
Right.
It was more like a softball than a beach ball, but it was the ball just looks different when you're swinging a hot bat.
Right.
I don't know. I didn't like the call. I would have let him hit the ball.
Was it actually the manager that called it?
Probably. And
I know.
I think he was right.
I never got an answer on that.
I know Vinny
No.
Pasquantino. He came up with runners at first and second, nobody out, and he laid down a bunt. And he's probably between him and Perez. That would be the last 2 guys that I would see on the Royals that would be laying down a sacrifice bunt. But he said afterwards that that was his call. He saw an opportunity where the third baseman was back. He laid down the bunt to get the runners moved over so that Salvi and Hunter Renfroe could dive him in. So, you know, that may have been the player's idea.
It could have been because there was a lefty on the mound, right?
I believe so, yes.
So he was falling to the third base side.
I didn't hear anything in the press conference, so I really don't know whose call that was.
Yeah, you never know.
I'm just saying, I get situational baseball, believe me, but when the guy's swinging a hot bat, let him go.
And I'll tell you, you didn't get to see the stuff he can do defensively yesterday. He's got he makes all the routine plays. He makes the semi-tough plays, and he makes a lot of the really tough ones. You guys are, we're going to see a lot of really nice stuff out of Izzy. He's never going to hit. I tell people all the time he's Michael Young revisited.
Yeah.
Except he can play catcher. He's
a solid player.
Yeah.
He's not going to hurt you.
No, definitely not. Definitely not. So I just hope that they can get this bullpen back to. Holderman the last week or 2 has been horrible. Hunter Stratton has been questionable. They got to get that straight. They got to get that straight.
Bullpen is just becoming feels like one stick of dynamite at a time lately, and they're not. And I don't have an answer for it. Like, we made some moves, we did what we could for the bullpen, but it's just not clicking yet. Yep. And who knows? It might not ever click, right? Who knows?
And that's a problem for a lot of teams. And I go back to the Royals again. If we had a closer that was actually an effective closer, like what they should be, the Royals will be a lot better off. James MacArthur's got 6 blown saves. His ERA is 5.32. You can't have a closer do that. Will Smith, he sucked at the beginning of the season, but his last 30 outings, his ERA is 1 point something. So he's really improved a lot. He came in yesterday, pitched the 8th inning, and held him through. But there's been so many times where you get a really good start from the starting pitcher, and then the bullpen just comes in and throws gas on it and goes up in flames.
Yeah, we watched that yesterday. It was 4-0 when Skeens left.
Mm-hmm.
And we lose 6-5.
Yeah.
I mean, I get it. It happens. I get it. It happens. And we all go, we don't want it to happen. But it does happen.
But you shouldn't have to be afraid it's going to happen every time.
Right. And that's what happens. Like, as soon as the starter leaves the game, it's like, fingers crossed. Should I watch the end of it? Should I keep watching it? What's going to happen?
Right.
But the biggest thing that happened yesterday to the Pirates, and I'm sure, Mark, you've seen this happen with your Royals too. And I preach this left and right. I'm sure Adam's probably sick of me here preaching about it. Throw a freaking strike.
Exactly.
A major league pitcher walking people is entirely unacceptable.
Yeah.
And what happened yesterday? Base hit, which okay, that's fine. Walk, 3-run bomb, and now the Pirates are down 2.
Yeah.
To Jock Peterson, of all people, Jock Peterson.
He's been hot
It's
lately.
a 3-run oppo. Huh?
He's been hot. He loves PNC Park.
I understand this, but he's still a putz. And to give it up to him, but that walk, if he throws, you got 7 guys behind you.
Yep. Give him a chance.
The guy hit the ball. If he hits it out of the park, that's one thing. Don't give him a base.
Mm-hmm.
Let your guys behind you do something.
Yep.
Oh, I know. Yeah,
Yeah,
And if I remember correctly, Holderman had 2 strikes on the guy before he walked him. I think it was 1-2, and he ended up walking the guy. How does that happen?
Yeah.
I'm trying to remember that count, Rich.
Well, and especially if your bullpen started with a 5-run lead, that's when you got to go in and start just pumping the strike zone and let them ground into a force out, or let them try it. At least make them work it for it.
Yeah, I mean, when Skeens leaves, it's 4-1. They get the third out, and they got the 1 run back, but they couldn't get the second one back to tie it up. They had a runner on third, but just couldn't get him in. So
brutal ending. But with that was one of those games. That series and the series out in Arizona are going to be the series as we look at and go, we didn't win them.
Right.
And if we get into the wild card, just remember those 2 series, because Arizona was the team we were chasing.
Yeah.
I think they're the last team in the East or in the NL right now.
they are. They're the team that
They win or lose, right?
the Pirates are chasing. Huh?
They win or lose in Cleveland tonight.
Let me look. Hold on.
We know it's high scoring. It was 6-6 going into the bottom of the 9th. From what?
Yeah, they went extra innings. 7-6 Arizona.
Is it over?
Yeah, 7-6 Arizona. So, I mean, you've got San Diego, Arizona, and Atlanta are all basically tied. It's percentage points difference. Then you got the Mets, and then the Pirates are 4 back. So,
Now we're 4 back.
The big thing that they've got to look at, they got Seattle for 3, or I'm sorry, yeah, they got San Diego for 3, and then they've got oh man, I knew. Hold on, because I know they've got Seattle coming in next week, but They got San Diego this weekend, which is very beatable.
Yeah.
They got the Dodgers in LA over the weekend. Then they go to San Diego. And then they have Seattle, and then they come to Texas where they're going to sweep that series. So
Go, Rick.
I'm a Pirates fan at heart, but I'm a Rangers guy. I will be wearing Pirates gear, I promise. But that's one of those I'm just going to sit there and enjoy the game.
Mm-hmm.
Rich,
but
you could always go neutral.
Yeah. No, I only get to see my Pirates play every 8 years in Texas. Or now it's every 2 years, but yeah, I got to take advantage of it when I can. The big stretch that they have is at the end of the month, though, when they've got Cincy for 3, the Cubs for 3, and the Guardians for 3. That's a big stretch right there at the end of the month.
You got to beat the teams you should beat.
Yep, and that should be some wins there.
The Guardians ain't an easy win.
What's that?
It's not.
Oh, I was just saying the Guardians are not an easy win.
No. But the Cubs and the Reds should be.
I don't know if De La Cruz is keeping this up. He's going to have a million stolen bases off us.
The way I'd look at it, he's one guy. He can only score like 4 times. Get everybody else out. Let him hit let him do what he's going to do. Get everybody else out and call it good.
I think India had a big game tonight too.
Oh, India? Yeah.
I think he did. I think I saw on Fendo he was worth like 25, 26.
Yeah, on DraftKings he had a big night. Because I've got him on there too. You had, let's see, De La Cruz had 42. India had 22. DraftKings.
30 on FanDuel.
Adam, are you a glass half empty guy?
You don't run any of those sites, do you, Mark? You don't do DFS?
Not on baseball. I've done some in football in the past, but I haven't done baseball.
Well, don't worry. I'm going to get your thoughts on that team behind you here in a minute.
Where is it? There it is. I mean, these guys?
Yeah, I wanted to hear your thoughts on since we haven't had a chance to talk yet. I'm sure we'll do some roundtable and stuff. But real quick, what are your thoughts? And Rich, I wish you would have had breaking news tonight, but we don't. But we are.
Oh, you mean the one that that receiver?
Yeah, but that trade's been posted for a couple times now.
Are you guys trying to trade Ayuk?
Yep.
Yeah, we're apparently like one of the top runners, and we'll see. We'll see what happens.
Okay.
See what happens.
But, yeah, as far as the Packers go, I think it's going to be a good year. Sounds like from what I've been reading in the practices and in camp and everything, the defense is what's really coming together with the new defensive coordinator. And forgive me, his name escapes me right now, but with him coming in, he's made some changes. Rashawn Gary is looking like a beast in camp. We've got some good young linebackers, and the defensive backs are playing up to what everybody thought they were going to be. So the defense is going to be tough. The offense is it's going to be another year of experience for all of those young wide receivers. Josh Jacobs replacing Aaron Jones in the backfield. I think that's going to be big. What's that?
Were you excited about getting Josh Jacobs? Or what, like I said, it's been a while since we talked. So, I mean, all these moves happen and we haven't had a chance to break it down.
I think he's going to be good for him. He fits the offense well. He's kind of interchangeable with Aaron Jones as far as I'm concerned, but he's a younger version. So I think it's going to be an upgrade there. Plus, we've got
A.J. Dillon.
Yeah, there you go. That's the guy. A.J. Dillon. He sounds like he's in good shape and he's doing well.
Marshall, was that the rookie they drafted?
Yeah. Lynch.
Or yeah, Lynch, something like that.
Yeah, he's looking good in camp as well. It sounds like the biggest contest that we're going to have is a couple of offensive linemen trying to get them positioned correctly. But Green Bay has been known for taking offensive linemen, changing them from different positions to different places, and making everything fit there. And a big thing that hurt us a lot last year was the kicking game. And they brought in Greg Joseph to give Anders Carlson some competition. Sounds like Joseph was in the lead, and then Carlson kicked really well on family night over the weekend. So, that's going to be interesting. And if we could have made a couple more field goals, who knows? Packers could have been in the NFC Championship game instead of the 49ers.
It was fun watching the Packers beat the Cowboys, though.
I laughed hard.
It's always fun. That's always Cowboy. I'll let them go the first round and get beat. A little inside baseball here, Mark. I'm the biggest Cowboys hater in Texas. Write it
good
down.
for you. I like you already, Rich.
But I just and their fans drive me bananas, and I love hammering on them because I can logically hammer on them, and they got nothing to come back with.
Yeah.
So it's funny, but boy, I tell you what, the Green Bay receiving core, man, you can see some stuff happening.
Yeah.
Then it could get scary up there between Dobbs and Reed and Watson and Wicks.
Yep.
Man,
Watson
you
can
guys
stay
could have
healthy.
just a hellacious receiving core.
Are you leaving out the two main points, Kraft and Musgrave?
The tight ends, yes, they're awesome as
Yeah,
well. They both have
if
played well.
Kraft is,
I think
because
that's gonna be
Kraft got hurt last year, right?
you.
Kraft hasn't played in camp yet, but he's supposed to be back within the next week or two, from what I understand. So yeah,
Gotcha.
all the pieces are there. They're going to be good again.
Carolina took a blow with Jonathan Brooks getting hurt.
Mm-hmm.
He's not going to be back till week 5, week 6, possibly.
Mm-hmm.
If not longer, they really don't know. And I guess Jarrett almost got destroyed this practice today. I saw something about a Boyd's serious injury. I don't know if that was today.
So who's your team, Rich?
I'm a Steelers guy.
Okay.
Born and bred, black and gold, man. Yeah.
No. One of my sons is a big Pittsburgh fan. He likes all things black and gold. He's a Pirates, Steelers, Penguins fan. I don't know what happened to him. I didn't raise that one right for some reason or another, but he loves everything
Raised
Pittsburgh.
him perfectly. You raised him perfectly.
Yeah, but Rich, does he like the Hawkeyes too? Black and gold? Or, I mean, Mark?
No, he does not.
So
he is a Nebraska kid.
So you did something right there.
Yeah. He did go to the University of Nebraska. So, there's that.
Gotcha.
So, Rich, what was it like watching Sidney Crosby in Denver?
You talking to me again?
Mark, oh my God.
It was a lot of fun. Like I said, my one son's a Penguins fan, so he was wearing his Penguins jersey. I had an Avalanche t-shirt on. My other son, he didn't really care either way, so he wore an Edmonton Oilers shirt. It was a lot of fun. The Penguins got up early, and then the Avalanche just came back and kept coming and kept coming and kept coming, and finally beat them at the end. It was a lot of fun. And we did get to see Crosby get a goal, so that was good. My son has been to the Penguins fan. He's been to several Penguins games, but this is the first one that Crosby has ever actually played in that he was at. He's always managed to catch him when he was injured or something, so he was just thrilled to be able to get to see him play.
Yeah, being in Pittsburgh, it's kind of like I'll see him play, but now we're getting to that point where we're looking 3, 4, 5 more years.
Yeah.
And I don't care. He's still going to be a top player. He's still going to be even if he's not top 5, he'll still be top 15.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be hard for him to fall that far. But if there's nothing around him, it's going to be harder to watch him fall.
And it's always fun to watch your favorite players no matter how old they get. We were talking earlier about George Brett. He's always been my baseball hero. And even at the end of his career, he wasn't the player that he was earlier on, but he was still George Brett. And every time he came up to bat, I wanted to see him hit. And he was, I think he had 260 something with 19 home runs and 75 RBIs his last season, but he still led the Royals in each of those categories, or at least in home runs and RBIs anyway. But to me, he is still number 5. He always will be. And like I said, every time he came up to bat, I wanted to see him hit. And I'm sure you've been the same way with some of your favorites, both of you guys. I'm sure there's been players that you have wanted to see no matter what they were doing or how badly they were playing. You just wanted to see them play.
I've always wanted to see Onyx Wagner.
He's a little before your time.
Yeah. But he was one guy that I would have really enjoyed watching play the game.
Uh-huh.
But if we're going modern, like growing up as a kid, I'm going Barry Bonds. I always wanted to see him just smash a home run.
Yeah.
And I didn't care about Sosa. I didn't care about McGuire. It was fun to watch, but that wasn't that. There were Cardinals and Cubs.
Yeah.
I could never get into that. I could never get into those two teams, but it was fun watching the chase.
See, and you talking about Honus Wagner makes me realize how, I guess I'll call myself spoiled. The Packers were around long before I was. But the Royals, I was born in 1968. The Royals came to be in 1969. So almost everybody that was any good as a Royal, I have seen play as a Royal. There were a couple of guys, Lou Piniella, before I started paying attention to baseball when he was with the Royals. There were a couple of guys that were good that I didn't get to see with the Royals, but, I got to see Lou Piniella with the Yankees, which was horrible. But the history of that team is the history of my baseball love. So, that team and I are intertwined no matter what. We're the same age. That's all of my favorite players. I can pretty much name, if you tell me a guy that played for the Royals, I can tell you when, or I can tell you something about him anyway.
Oh, you had a pretty good one there. A guy climbed the fences and ran pretty fast.
Bo guy? Yeah, he was okay for a few years.
Yeah,
he was pretty solid.
Yeah, he did a couple things. And he's in the Royals Hall of Fame now.
As he should be.
Yeah.
He should be. Maybe it's just for breaking the bat over his leg. I'm not sure.
Or the one over his head. That was even more impressive to me.
I mean, you could just put that picture up and everyone would go, that was the man.
Yeah. Guy's a badass. Human beings don't do the things that Bo Jackson did.
No.
It's true.
So, Mark, back to your Packers. Were you expecting Love to get that big of a contract?
I don't know if I was expecting that big, but when I saw what Tua got, I knew that was what it was going to take. And, people talk about Tua all the time. I think he's good. I don't think he's as great as what a lot of other people think that he is. And what I've seen of Love, he's going to be able to get it done. He's learned that offense. He's worked with those receivers, and he's got the relationship with them that you have to have, where he knows where they're going to be. They know where he's going to throw it, and they know what he's looking for, what he wants. And I think it's going to work for all of them. And I think it's going to be fun to watch for a long time. And I'm glad that he got the money. I'm glad he's going to be there for a while. I always like it when my teams lock down somebody for a long-term contract that you're going to be able to watch those guys for a while. The Bobby Witts of the world. I love seeing him sign an 11-year deal with 2 or 3 more years of options. I know that guy's going to be there. Jordan Love, I know he's going to be there. Aaron Rodgers, I love to watch him play. I hated to watch the offseason. He took too much from Favre on that. It was about Aaron, and it was what Aaron wanted to do and what direction he wanted that team to go. And so I think that's the difference between him and Love from what I've seen so far. The other players around Love, they're connecting with him, and going to have that relationship. And they're all so young. The receivers and Love, they're all young. They're all just learning what they can do. And it's going to be fun to watch that over the next several years.
Yeah. Well, for my sleeper team, I am hoping that is everything you said was true. I traded for Love in the offseason so far. Brought
Good
over
for you.
Watt. Already had Dobbs. The idiot before me traded Bryce Young traded CJ Stroud for Bryce Young.
Ooh, why?
I didn't know. No one give me a damn answer.
Huh.
No one give me a damn answer.
You wouldn't think a commissioner would approve something like that even. That's just a bad deal.
No, this league is 2 guys approve it, and it's done. There's no committee.
Wow. Well,
Yeah.
good for the guy that got Stroud.
Yeah, bad for me. Anyway.
Right.
Yeah,
I'll be doing. We don't have a carryover in the league that I'm in, but my daughter and some of her in-laws, a group of them, they're all together in this league, and I'm in that league. So we'll be having our draft here coming up in a couple weeks. I'll have to let you know how I do in that.
Yes, for sure. Let me know. Rich, did we create our league yet? Speaking of fantasy.
And I've got it set up. I got to get with everybody. I got to put it in the group chat to find out what date is going to be good. I've got everything lined up except that. And then we can take it from there.
I don't know if we have enough players, Mark, but would you be interested in joining us?
Sure,
If we don't
let me
have
know.
The premise
if you've got
behind
a hole, let me know.
the premise behind the league is it's a charity league. So
Okay.
what we're doing, it's going to be $20 a guy,
Uh-huh.
and winner take all, and the proceeds go to the winner's favorite charity.
Awesome.
In their name.
Yeah, if you've got an opening, I would love to be a part of that.
Okay. Very good. Yeah, I'll be able to put it up there this weekend. I'm thinking like the last weekend in August. What do you guys think?
That should be good.
Or we could even do a full show of it, whatever.
I've told Adam for a long time.
That was one thing that was something I was hoping was we could have everybody do kind of the live thing, and then we can, if we can get everybody together.
Right.
Yeah. I've told Adam for a long time that Sundays and Monday nights are the best times for me because my wife works 16-hour shifts, so I got nothing going on for a little while.
There we go. No,
Rich, I followed you on X, Twitter, whatever the hell it's called these days.
I appreciate it, man. I'll have to do the same for you.
Yeah.
Well, boys, I know. You told me an hour. We're over the hour frame. As
right
always,
in there, though.
As always, over. We're never on time.
It's been a lot of fun, though. It's always good talking.
Mark, if you're up for it, open mic tomorrow night, everyone's invited. It's turning out to be pretty good time so far. I don't want to jinx it, but it is. It's group conversation. It's just a fun little chat. I think it is. I don't know.
Okay.
Rich.
Yeah. Send me the link, and if I can get it free, I'll jump on.
All right, cool.
Yeah, it's a blast.
Evan said he'd be here tomorrow, so I'm sure John's gonna be ready to talk about Dom and Liv now. WWE dating scene, I guess.
There's a lot more to talk about from that card than just that, man.
I know. I just was going off of.
I hope the episode we did sounded good. I haven't had a chance to sit and listen to it, but I hope it sounded cool. I'm sure you caught part of it there, Adam.
I did. So. Yeah, John's our wrestling guy, so I'm sure he's going to be really pumped up for tomorrow and open mic. I'll talk whatever you want. So just to let you know, Mark, it could go to WWE. It could go. I don't know.
Well, here's what I want you to do. Do you guys follow the Olympics at all?
Little.
I haven't.
Did you see the Canadian guy that won the hammer throw?
He threw that. He threw it. He broke some records, didn't he?
something, yeah. But I want you guys to look at a picture of him, and I can't even think of what his name is right now. But with the hair and the mustache, it looks like Gallagher just got reincarnated and came back and threw the hammer and won the Olympics. Smashed a couple watermelons and then threw the hammer.
I gotta look at it.
Yeah, you got to check him out.
Holy smoke, you're right.
I saw a picture of him earlier, and I was like, "Oh, gee, hey,
Holy crap!" He's not wrong. That's funny.
it's either Gallagher or David Crosby. He's got to be one of those two guys reincarnated."
One of the two. Wow.
His name's Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
Pittsburgh.
Did you find a picture of him? Yep, that's my
crazy.
guy.
That is crazy.
Dude, he's got the 90s. He's got the porn stash, everything going on there.
Yes, he does.
Yeah, he does.
If you guys couldn't see on my phone, everybody listening right now, just go check that dude out and you'll know what we're talking about.
Look him up.
Yeah. That's nuts.
That's awesome.
Guys, I gotta boogie out of here, guys.
Yeah, I
All
was
right,
just
dude.
ready to close it out. How do people get a hold of you boys? Don't fight.
Go ahead, Rich.
Oh, you get mine at Go Big Go Home Pod on the Twitter, X, whatever we're calling it this week. And Facebook, it's under my name, Rich Richardson.
And I am at Packer, Nebraska on Twitter, X. X used to be formerly Twitter, or Facebook. I'm under Mark McCarthy.
All right. I am at Sports Talking It. You can find me there on Twitter, whatever. Yeah. Anyway, oh my God. We gotta come up with something. So but anyway, everyone the X. Anyway.
Thank you guys for having me on.
Also Adam McNally on Facebook. Everybody have a good night and thank you for tuning in.
Thank you guys.